What is going on, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and it's hard to believe that we are only a matter of days away from the launch of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. So in today's video, I'd like to take a few moments, go over some basic details about the game, and answer some of the questions you have sent the channel. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, and we are having a giveaway for a PlayStation 5 to enter. All you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced December 31st of this year. Now, one thing I'd like to mention really quick as we start this video off is that I will be going over some basic story aspects about the game, but there are going to be no major spoilers whatsoever. And not only that, just to play it safe, all of the gameplay footage you're going to see in this video has been sent out directly by Ubisoft. It is stuff that's been in the public for a while, so that way you do not accidentally see something that you may not want to see as yet. And with that disclaimer out of the way, let's now jump into a very basic breakdown of what the game is. Now, for those of you that may not know, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is a live service single-person open-world game. However, you also have the option of playing co-op with up to one other person at a time, and not only that, the game is going to feature both cross-play and cross-progression. So for crossplay, if you happen to play on console and you have a good friend that plays on PC or vice versa, you will be able to squad up together and play the game, which is absolutely fantastic. And when it comes to cross progression, you can see a breakdown of that feature reads as follows. This means that if you start your adventure on console and then plan to move to PC for whatever reason, your save game should come with you. This will bring along your levels, abilities, and story progression, and should be facilitated through the Ubisoft Connect account. So you need to make sure you do have one of those, otherwise you will not be able to use this feature. Now, as we make our way to the story aspect of the game, I want to make sure I mention really quick that this is a first-person game. I know for many of you out there that may be a deal breaker, and in some of the footage you're going to see, you will see some third-person elements as well, but to be clear, you do not have the option of switching between the two. First person is what you're going to be in primarily, and the game will automatically switch to third person when you're doing certain activities such as riding your mount, as you can see on screen right here. So once again, to be clear, you do not have the option of changing your perspective anytime you want, so please make sure you take that into consideration if you're thinking about buying it. Next, my friends, we're going to talk about the story aspect of the game, and chances are you are a fan of the films, but even if you have not seen them before, or it's just been a very long time since you have, the game has made it clear that you will be able to jump into this thing and have an idea of what is going on. And if you happen to be a major fan of the franchise like myself, they have also made it clear that there are going to be countless Easter eggs in this game, and I promise you, once they are discovered, I will bring you a video on that right away. Now, another question I know many of you out there have is how big is the map size in its entirety? We know there are 3 regions that we can explore, and I will go over those regions and the clans that inhabit them in a moment, but to give you a comparison on how large this game is going to be, each of the regions are considerably larger than the entire maps of both Division games. You can see what I'm referencing right here, and for those of you out there like myself who are huge fans of open world games, it seems we are going to have no shortages of places to explore. Now, at this point, I was about to start to go over some details about the regions and the clans, but as I was in the process of recording this, the game actually put out a new video where they give us a behind-the-scenes look on how the world was created, and that includes going over details about the regions and the clans, so I am going to leave you with that. Now, to be clear, this is going to be the first of many videos that I intend to bring you on this game. We're going to be talking about farming, crafting, weapons, gear, leveling up, all of those things, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I want to thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. I sincerely appreciate the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
The story of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is about Sarentu. These children were taken from their clan at a really young age, and they've been brought up in a human RDA facility.
The game starts with you actually in school. You're a Navi, but you're being raised by the RDA. the militaristic corporation, the bad guys of the story.
So they're kind of divorced from their culture and their people and brought up to use human weapons and to understand humanity.
When the game starts and you actually step onto Pandora for the first time, you're Navi, you're of this world of Pandora, but you've never been there. And you have to learn everything and unravel the mysteries of your past, what happened in school, who put you there, and deal with the trauma that upbringing actually brought.
The theme of being a child of two worlds is one that resonates with me. I'm dual heritage, so there's always that feeling of being neither one thing or the other, or being in an in-between place, or being too much of one and not enough of another. And the player character goes through those moments of being, but I'm not Navi, like, can I do this? And trying to find their place in the world.
Ewa, we enter your welcoming arms, at one with all things connected through you. Guide this traveler, bring them to the heart of the nest.
It's about their journey to becoming Navi and finding out what that means for them. So we do have 3 other clans that they meet. There are the Aranahe, who live in a sort of rainforest climate. They weave silk and they're very elegant and, you know, sort of the poet type artist clan. Then there are the Zeswa. They live in symbiosis with these huge placid creatures called Zakru, and their tents lean up against the side of these creatures for warmth and protection from the winds that travail the grasslands they live on. And they are bright and bold, but they like to party. The third clan are the Kamatire, and they live in the clouded forest, so they're a reclusive, mysterious clan. They are surrounded by moss and fog and sort of pine trees, and the character of the clan kind of reflects that, so they're more wary of strangers, both as a culture and for story reasons, so there's a mystery surrounding the Kamatire.
Every single aspect in the Avatar universe fits together, right? This is something that you see in the Avatar films.
There are lore parameters that we must abide by, and this applies to both world building and narrative. When we started the project, Lightstorm sent over a vast amount of information, everything from the Pandorapedia to Navi cultural information. And I was surprised that it included taxonomy and biological mechanisms and all sorts of information. They've done research on everything.
There's an incredible amount of detail in the game. Everything from the choice of the Navi clothing that they wear, to the places that they live, to the tint of their eyes, to the animals and how they fit within the environment and how they've evolved to their surroundings.
In the world of Avatar, everything must be backed by science. There can't be any fantasy technology or seemingly magical creatures or plants. So our content creation team uses Earth technology and sciences as a foundation when creating new content.
Creating new wildlife was an enormous endeavor, and it was a really big collaboration with the Lightstorm team that made this happen. The same people who have worked on the films to create the wildlife have helped us create the wildlife here. The Soundblast Colossus, as we showed in our trailer, is this enormous kind of almost stegosaurus-looking style creature, and it has these air kind of vents, and it can actually use the wind of the upper plains. It's adapted to use that, to actually suck it in and then blow it out, and it actually creates kind of an attack because it's such a force and such a kind of sonic resonance that it actually disorients nearby things and kind of makes them go away if it feels threatened. You have the clouded forest, which is foggy, damp, a little bit cooler, and you'll notice that all of the animals and all of the plant life have adapted to shorter sight lines, muffled sounds, a damper environment, and then the clans reflect that too. And so all of these details really meld together into something that I think if you look really closely, you can really tell how much care and how much thought has gone behind everything.
So the Avatar universe is broad and beautiful, and it offers us this mirror to our own world. On our planet, we're dealing with climate change and, very extreme weather conditions.
So obviously we've incorporated that into the story because we're right there at the events of the movies, but we're also incorporating it into gameplay. You attack bases and liberate the land, right? But when you do that, pollution also drops, and that changes everything, your power, everything you can harvest, the crafting loops, and there's other gameplay and facilities that you get access to. Pandora is more than just what they see in the movie. It is a huge world.
There's loads of opportunities to tell small stories and big stories, and also reflect on ourselves, our place within the natural world, how we interact with it.
The Avatar universe has a lot of real-world correlations, which also serve as a warning on our own behavior on Earth.
There are many clans, and the clans are different. They have different cultures, they have different styles, they have different look, and just like here on Earth, they have small physical differences, but inside they're all Na'vi.